was thinking a little bit deeper and actually putting pen to paper on this when I was having coffee earlier this morning, and I realized that there's three. I would define there's three kinds of NFT users, I guess you could say. Okay. And we've chatted about this a little bit, but I think I've put it into a little bit more context. So there's traders, right? And this is, I think, the most obvious thing that you think about when you think about NFT trade, collectors, traders, whatever you want to call it. The traders you can think of as like flippers or gamblers. For the most part, the art is not important. Other than, the team is not that important. All that really matters is if the value is going to go up.
I always like to say a little anecdote: charts, not art.
There you go. People. Yes, exactly. It's all about assets. They could be trading, oil futures or penny stocks or whatever. All that matters is that they're seeing an opportunity in this space to make money, and volatility, and they're willing to gamble on it. And you read a lot, and they're all over, NFT Twitter, and it's really a normalized way of interacting with the space.
There's even a name for them. What do we call these traders?
Degens?
Degens. I'm still giving another shout out to you, Lord Truff. I know you're not listening, but the way you said degen, I love it.
I think you can be a degen and not be a trader, though. I think the degen, and you can degen and not be a trader.
So it is a sufficient condition, not necessary.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the next category, which is close, but I would say it's definitely different, is investors. Okay. And so investors are looking for long-term gain, primarily, still seeing NFTs as a monetary instrument. But they're particularly, maybe less about degenning into a project and buying a bunch of it and hoping it does well, maybe doing a little bit more research on the team, and maybe not investing in something that they don't believe in the art, although art is still secondary to value. Right.
It's like there's some brand equity there through the art.
Yeah. And an ability to focus on things like, loss harvesting and tax strategies and all of these pieces of this that have to do with the financial elements of it. And then the third class is collector. And so the collector, it's about ownership, it's about community, it's about participation. Now, people can fall into any of these and multiple of these categories.
So it could be like a three-sided Venn diagram.
But the trouble is, if you don't know where you should live, you will get wrecked.
Sounds familiar.
I am wholeheartedly in the collector class, not necessarily by choice, but just by
process of elimination.
Yes, and I believe you are too.
I didn't realize it though. It took my process of elimination was about a year.
But I think that the when you surround yourself with traders and when you surround yourself with investors and you're hearing all of that noise all the time, you think, oh, hey, I can do that. And that's how you get wrecked, right? Like we were talking the other day about the anecdote of like, I was in this Discord where a bunch of people, definitely traders. These are people who are like buying, 20 of something and turning around and selling it when it goes up a tenth of an ETH or less.
And also these are the Discords where the whitelist channel is the most active channel.
Yes. And they started minting moonbirds. Or no, sorry, not moonbirds. They started minting Goblin Town, which is, the one project that
Can you explain Goblin Town? Just a quick overview of it?
Sure. Quick overview of Goblin Town. It was a meme project that had a free mint, 10,000, although they only minted 9,000. They kept 1,000 of them. And it shot up. It was like just perfectly grabbed like the ethos of what was going on when the markets were crashing. And it was super secretive. No one really understood who it was. There were all these rumors. Is it Yuga? Is it Mike Judge? Like people were like throwing out all kinds of wild speculation as to who had created this. And it just kept going up and up and up and up and up. And I don't know right now, and probably don't want to know what the floor price is, but it's somewhere in the like high single digit ETH probably.
Also CC0, right?
It's CC0. It had like like a lot of projects, it's like claims to have no roadmap, and as a thing that they're very proud to say.
Yeah.
But it was weird. I mean, it was an extremely weird meme-y kind of project where they would get on Spaces and they would just make goblin sounds for hours, and everyone was talking about it. And
should we do that? That'll boost my viewership by at least 10,000. But
the point was that I saw these people on this Discord like jumping in and buying in big at super low prices.
Free prices, or this on the secondary?
This was like early secondary. So they were going for, under a tenth of an ETH, like 0.08 ETH and stuff like that. And then they were watching it shoot up, and they're like, we're up to 0.11, we're up to 0.15. Should we sell now? And that's how these, these channels, these Discord channels full of traders and degens work. And I just sat there and was like, I don't like this project. I'm not going to do it. And that was like watching that just keep going up. And then it went up to 1, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to buy it now. Of course it's at the top. I don't understand how monetary instruments work. It is clear that if I was that kind of NFT person, I would have done that and I would have made money. But I've actually, like, of all the projects I've gotten involved in, I've actually never sold an NFT. Just because I don't understand, like, the oh, well, this is the top, so I'll sell now. Every time I like feel like a gut feeling to do something, it's wrong.
It's interesting because like the first thing that pops into my head is Warren Buffett value investing, and one of the most famous quotes from him is, you'd rather buy a great company at a good price than a good company at a cheap price, right? And so like when you're going into this thing and you're seeing 1 ETH and then 2 ETH, and I went through this with Bored Apes. I mean, the exact same thing, right? Josh introduced me to Bored Apes. They were at half an ETH. And I was like, at that point, like I was just getting into the ETH side of trading. And it's like, well, they probably won't go up much more because nothing had ever really done that. Right. And this didn't make sense to do that because it was the middle of a bear market. Right. So there's all this context, but like, at the end of the day, you didn't see or connect with the goblin ethos, right? And so you couldn't justify that, even if you thought it might be a good trade at some point, right?
Well, I mean, thinking it would be a good trade would probably be the perfect reason that I shouldn't trust my life. So maybe if I just do the opposite.
There's a lot of people that say, think of what you want to do, then do the opposite.
It feels that way sometimes. But anyway, I think the big takeaway from all of this was, okay, that's actually like a lot less pressure because I'm extremely susceptible to FOMO. I have like every time I've like FOMO'd into a project, it has, been unsuccessful more or less. And so by understanding yourself as a collector and resisting those urges to degen and urges to just ape into something, it actually makes it a lot easier. And you save a lot of money, and you can still have all the fun of Web3 and take part in all the communities and collect cool art and meet great people and go to really cool events at NFT NYC, which we'll get to. And I think that bringing this back to what started this line of conversation, the bear market is a way better time. A slow, inexpensive market is way better for collectors. It's horrible for traders. Mm-hmm. It's not great for investors, but they'll be fine. But it's made for collectors, right? Like if you can get into a project at a lower price, that's better for a collector. If you can, interact with communities for a little while before you need to jump on a project because the prices aren't shooting up, that's way better than that feeling of, oh my God, if I don't buy this right now, I'll never be able to afford it. And I will feel guilty that I didn't buy it, and I'll have FOMO. And so I should just buy it. And
it's almost like if you feel like you're going to have FOMO, you should just stop.
Yeah. And what we've seen over the last few weeks is the time to, you get added to a whitelist for something because of some like raffle. We were just joking about this. And like, they're like, sweet, now I have the opportunity to pay someone money. Like,
yes, I'm so glad I get to give you $500 right now.
Because you won the raffle, you feel like you have to do it, because then if the price goes up, you will, kick yourself for having not done that. And what we've seen for these last few weeks is that these projects aren't even minting out anymore. They're not even, they're not even selling out anymore, and they're not going up in value. And I know that like, there's some people who will say that that's like a horrible thing for this industry, but like, it's a great place from a collector's perspective to be able to take the time and go in the Discord and talk to people and see if you like, what these people are doing, to see if you want to invest your ETH in these projects, because the stuff is not particularly cheap.
Yeah.
But if you're smart about it and you have fun with it, it's totally worth it too.
Yeah. What I'm hearing you say, I guess, is, in summary, is you got to identify who you are, right? And there's no like single greatest answer, right? You might be a blend of the two. There might just be one, or blend of the three. There might just be one that makes sense to you, that is just better for your psyche. So I guess, and you've kind of talked about how, like, on a high level, how you identify that. Have you thought any deeper about like different ways to kind of categorize yourself so that you can set yourself up for success earlier? Or is it something that you feel like you just have to learn by experience?
You mean like for someone coming fresh in?
Yeah.
Yes, I think that 6529 talks about this a lot. He has a great thread. If anyone is coming to Web3 for the first time through this podcast, the best advice you can do is just go to Punk6529 on Twitter and read his like pinned threads that he talks about. Like, I like to sort of think of him as my like Web3 guru.
Mm-hmm.
But he talks about buying, like the first steps are like, find something cheap, buy it, get to know the community, and ask yourself how you feel. Do you feel weird about it? Do you feel like this wasn't a good use of your money? That maybe this isn't the best place for you? Or are you super excited? Do you need to buy more? Well, then, I don't know. I think that you can identify yourself into one of those three categories without even knowing anything about NFTs, right? You can identify yourself. Are you good at, the idea of gambling? If you go to Vegas, are you like killing it on the floor? Are you having a great time, or are you getting wrecked? And how do you react to loss? Like,
or do you slowly lose money over time just because you don't want to feel bad?
Yeah.
That's how I categorize myself, by the way. How much entertainment value did I get out of it?
It's true. Yeah, that's exactly like I am. I think you and I have a very similar categorization in this space.
Yeah.